You were never supposed to hear this, and if you keep listening, something inside you will change permanently. So think carefully before you continue, because the moment you know these 9 rules, there's no going back. You've been lied to your whole life. They told you success comes from hard work, patience, being nice, playing fair. They smiled when they said it because they needed you to stay asleep, predictable, controllable, harmless. But deep down, you've felt it, haven't you? That itch in your chest when you look around and realize most people are trapped, running in circles, living the same day over and over until they die. Let me give you the first truth. Time is the most manipulated currency on earth. You've been trading it for pennies while others use it to buy empires. They've convinced you that 8 hours a day at a job you hate is normal. They've convinced you that weekends are freedom. But tell me, if you own only 5% of your life, is that freedom or slavery? Think about the people you secretly admire, the ones who seem untouchable, powerful, free. Do you know what separates them from you? It's not intelligence, not luck, not even money. It's control of time. Rule 1 of winning life is this: stop living on someone else's clock. Every successful person you've ever envied bends time to their will. They wake up earlier than you, not because they're obsessed with discipline, but because they understand time compounds like money. 1 hour stolen from sleep today becomes 10 years of freedom tomorrow. Most people waste the first 10 minutes of their day scrolling, reacting to other people's lives. Winners don't. They weaponize those 10 minutes, turning them into strategy, planning, action. Here's something that will disturb you. There are people who deliberately design your day for you. Notifications, advertisements, trends. They're psychological traps, bought to steal minutes, then hours, then decades. Every second you waste staring at your phone is making someone else rich. You are being farmed, and the worst part? You consent to it every time you pick that device up for just a minute. If you want to break free, start small but be ruthless. Carve out 1 hour a day for yourself, no matter what. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. That 1 hour, repeated every day, will separate you from 99% of people in less than a year. But let me warn you, the moment you do this, you will feel resistance. People around you will mock you, call you obsessive, weird. That's how you know you're on the right path, because mediocrity hates discipline. Mediocrity needs company. If you're still here, good. You're awake enough to hear what comes next, but understand this. The deeper we go, the more it will cost you. Not in money, but in comfort. The truth is heavy, and once you carry it, you'll never see the world the same way again. Are you ready? Because the second rule will shake everything you think you know about power, manipulation, and why most people are willingly weak. Good. You stayed. That means you're not like the others. But don't fool yourself. You've been manipulated your entire life, even if you think you're woke. And the second rule to winning life is something you were never supposed to figure out. People are predictable, and predictability is the greatest weakness on earth. You think you're making your own choices. You're not. Every move you make, what you eat, what you buy, who you admire, has been engineered by someone smarter, hungrier, and far more ruthless than you. Let me ask you this. Do you really think billion-dollar corporations spend billions on advertising just to inform you? No. They are rewriting your instincts, programming you like software, and you're letting them. Here's the hard truth. Manipulation runs this world. And if you don't learn to see it, you will always be the one being played. The rich and powerful don't work harder than you. They work on you. Every commercial, every viral trend, every piece of gossip is designed to trigger predictable emotions. Envy, desire, fear, outrage. They control the masses by pulling those emotional strings, like puppeteers. And you've been a puppet. But here's where the second rule changes everything. Stop reacting. Start observing. The moment you become aware of manipulation, you stop being controlled by it. You stop chasing trends, stop wasting energy arguing about meaningless news, stop feeding your emotions into their system. This is why winners look cold, detached, even arrogant to the average person, because they've stopped reacting. They don't get emotionally involved in things they can't control. They use their energy only on what builds power. Want to test how much you're being manipulated? Tomorrow, keep track of every time you check your phone out of boredom, every time you scroll for just a minute. Count how many times you react instead of act. You'll be shocked. It's not you making those decisions. It's a system built to keep you weak. And here's where the true power begins. Once you understand manipulation, you can reverse it. You can read people the same way they read you. People who are controlled by emotion are easy to lead, easy to influence, easy to outmaneuver. And if that sounds dark, good, because the world is dark. This is how it's always worked. You can either be the player or the played. But I need to warn you, once you start seeing the patterns, you won't be able to unsee them. You'll notice how your friends, your coworkers, even your family are constantly manipulated by fear, pleasure, and approval. It will feel lonely at first. But that loneliness, that's what freedom feels like. If you understand this, you're already stepping into a world most people will never enter. You're breaking the mental chains they will die wearing. But we're only just beginning. Because the third rule isn't about avoiding manipulation. It's about rewiring your own mind for absolute control, the kind of mental strength that makes you unstoppable. You feel it already, don't you? That shift inside your chest, that quiet anger at how much of your life has been stolen from you without your permission. Good. Hold on to it because this third rule is the one that will change everything. The mind is programmable, and you've been running someone else's code your entire life. Think about it. Every thought you have, every habit you repeat, every instinct you trust, it's not pure, it's not original, it's borrowed. You were born limitless, and then piece by piece they installed limits in you. Don't take risks. Be realistic. That's impossible. People like us don't do that. And you believed it. You believed it because repetition is the oldest form of brainwashing there is. Here's the truth they never wanted you to discover. Your brain doesn't care whether a belief is true or false. It only cares whether it's repeated. That's why you doubt yourself. That's why you procrastinate. That's why you talk yourself out of opportunities before you even try. It's not because you're weak. It's because your mind has been trained to keep you small. But if the mind is programmable, it can be reprogrammed. And this is where most people fail. They think motivation is about feeling inspired. No, motivation is about rewriting your operating system. Start here. Every morning, before you touch your phone, before you speak to anyone, you talk to yourself like you're already the person you're trying to become. Not once, not twice. For at least 10 minutes every single day until it burns into your identity. Because identity drives action, and action builds reality. You will never act like a winner if you keep speaking to yourself like a loser. And here's a secret, the powerful use that the masses laugh at. Visualization works because the brain can't tell the difference between imagination and reality. Athletes use it. CEOs use it. The Milgosalas. Idery uses it. But the average person mocks it because they've been trained to think anything they can't see is stupid. Meanwhile, their own mind is being hijacked by TikTok videos and negative headlines. Let me give you a direct exercise, and if you're serious, you will do it today. Close your eyes for 5 minutes and see yourself living the life you want. Not wishing. See it, feel it, smell it, replay it until it feels real. Then, when you open your eyes, act like the person you just saw. Do this every day for 30 days, and you won't even recognize yourself in the mirror. But don't expect applause. People will hate you for this. They'll sense something different in you, something they can't control. That's good. That means you're evolving. If you're still here, I want you to prove it. Comment this phrase twice. I refuse to be programmed. Say it, write it, claim it. Because from this point on, you're no longer a puppet. You're becoming the one who pulls the strings. And in the fourth rule, we're going deeper, because the next thing you must understand is brutal, why most people are destined to fail, and how to turn their failure into your greatest advantage. Most people are destined to fail, and the sick truth? They choose it. Not once, not twice, every single day, with every small decision they make. That's the fourth rule. Failure isn't an accident, it's a habit. And if you understand how people build that habit, you can weaponize it. Look around you. The average person doesn't fail because they're unlucky or because life is unfair. They fail because they're addicted to comfort. They would rather feel safe for one more hour than face discomfort for 1 year and win the rest of their life. You need to understand this. Human beings are wired to avoid pain, not to chase success. That's why they hit the snooze button. That's why they choose fast food over discipline, scrolling over studying, excuses over action. Comfort is a drug, and most people are overdosing on it. But here's where this becomes powerful for you. Once you see this pattern, you can do two things. First, you can destroy it in yourself. Second, you can use it to your advantage, because while everyone else is running from discomfort, you'll be running toward it, collecting all the rewards they're too soft to claim. Think about it. Everything valuable in life sits behind discomfort. Strength, behind hours of pain in the gym. Wealth, behind years of risk and rejection. Confidence, behind thousands of awkward, humiliating moments. The things you want are already there, waiting. But they're guarded by discomfort because most people won't fight for them. So here's the brutal shift you need to make. Stop chasing comfort. Start chasing resistance. Every time you feel that pull to quit, that voice that says, "This is too hard," recognize it for what it is. It's a map. That resistance you feel, that's where the treasure is. You need to start asking yourself a dangerous question every morning. What is the one thing I don't want to do today? And then do that first. Because the thing you avoid the most is exactly what will change your life. But let's take this even deeper, because you're not just here to survive, you're here to win. And winners don't just overcome failure, they use the failure of others. While everyone else is distracted, lazy, and wasting time, you take what they leave behind: opportunities, positions, connections. Success is not just about being good. It's about being there when everyone else has already quit. The next time you feel like quitting, remember this. Most people have already quit. Even if they're still walking around, they're done inside. They're mentally dead, which means you're competing against almost no one. Outwork them for 6 months, and you'll be unrecognizable. Outwork them for 3 years, and you'll be untouchable. But don't misunderstand me. This isn't just about effort. There's a deeper layer, and it's one most people will never see. Because to truly win, you have to play the game at a level most don't even know exists. And that's what we're about to get into next. The 5th rule will show you how to control the battlefield before you even step on it. How to bend situations, people, and even outcomes in your favor without them ever realizing it. You want to win? Then stop playing the game everyone else is playing, because by the time they take their first step, the winners have already decided how the game will end. That's the 5th rule. Control the battlefield before you even step on it. Here's the reality. Most people fight battles they don't even understand. They walk into rooms hoping to be liked, hoping to be chosen, hoping things will work out. Hope is weakness. Winners don't hope. They position. They shape perception before they act. They bend the situation before it begins. This is how power really works. It's not about strength, it's about positioning. The lion doesn't chase every animal in the jungle. It waits, stalks, chooses, and strikes only when the outcome is guaranteed. But you've been taught to rush, to scramble, to compete for scraps like everyone else. That's why you lose. Let me teach you something uncomfortable. People are not logical. People follow authority, status, and confidence, even when it's fake. This is why manipulation works. This is why the loud, bold, confident idiot often wins over the quiet genius. Perception beats reality. And until you accept this, you'll keep wondering why life feels unfair. So how do you control the battlefield? 3 things: preparation, presence, and pressure. Preparation means you don't just show up. You show up knowing more than everyone else. You already know what they want, what they fear, what buttons to push. You've studied the game before stepping into it. Presence is about how you carry yourself. People decide your value in seconds. The way you walk into a room, the way you look at people, the way you pause before you speak. It all signals whether you're a leader or a follower. Never rush, never fidget. Move slow, deliberate, like someone who expects to win. Pressure is the most advanced move. Winners know how to make people move fur. Saint silence is your weapon. If you can stay calm while others get nervous, they will start revealing themselves, talking too much, over-explaining, showing their weaknesses. And when you know where they're weak, you don't need to fight. You just push lightly, and they collapse on their own. Most people have no idea this level of control exists. They think life is fair, random, based on luck. But once you start seeing patterns, you'll notice how often the game was decided before it even began. Promotions, relationships, deals, even friendships, most of it is determined by who frames the situation first. But this is where the descent gets deeper, because the sixth rule isn't just about controlling others. It's about controlling the most dangerous enemy you'll ever face, yourself. Because if you can't conquer your own mind, every strategy you just learned will eventually collapse. And that's what we're unlocking next. Everything I've told you so far means nothing if you can't master the most dangerous opponent you'll ever face, yourself. That's the sixth rule. Self-control is the ultimate power, because a man who can't control himself will always be controlled by someone else. Think about it. The world doesn't need chains or prisons to keep people weak. It just feeds their impulses. Desire, anger, jealousy, fear, those are the real shackles. The reason most people never achieve anything great isn't because they lack opportunity. It's because they sabotage themselves before anyone else even has to stop them. Here's the brutal truth. The strongest men and women you admire are not stronger than you. They are simply calmer under pressure. When they feel rage, they don't lash out. When they feel fear, they don't freeze. When they feel desire, they don't lose focus. And because they can control themselves, they control the game. Ask yourself this: how many times have you lost because of your own emotions? How many times did you say something you shouldn't, waste time chasing approval, or quit just because things felt uncomfortable? That's the battlefield of self-mastery, and you've been losing. But that ends today. Here's how you flip it. Turn every emotion into fuel instead of a trap. Anger? Don't explode. Focus it. Channel it into work, into training, into building something that makes your enemies irrelevant. Fear? Don't run. Study it. Fear shows you exactly where the growth is hiding. Jealousy? Good. Let it remind you what you actually want, and then outwork the person you envy until they're forced to notice you. This is what elite performers understand. Emotions aren't bad. They're signals. Weak people obey those signals. Powerful people use them. But let me take you deeper, because there's another layer, one that will make you almost untouchable. Become emotionally invisible. Stop giving people reactions to feed on. When they insult you, stay silent. When they doubt you, smile. When they try to provoke you, stay calm. People lose their power over you the second they can't predict your response. And here's something that will scare you. The moment you master this, you'll start seeing how easy it is to control others who can't control themselves. Watch how they get flustered, angry, or desperate when you refuse to play their emotional game. That's when you realize most people are slaves to their feelings, and you're not. But understand this, self-mastery is a daily war. You don't win it once. You win it every morning, every decision, every temptation. That's why this rule is rare. It's why the majority will always stay average. If you can do this, you'll no longer just survive life. You'll bend it. Because once you control yourself, the world can't manipulate you anymore. You become the calmest person in the room, and the calmest person always wins. But we're not done, because if you've mastered yourself, the next step is to turn your entire life into a weapon of momentum, so powerful that nothing can stop it once it moves. And that's the seventh rule. Now that you've learned to control yourself, it's time to become unstoppable. That's the seventh rule. Build momentum so powerful that nothing, not fear, not failure, not even other people, can stop it. Because the truth is, success doesn't belong to the smartest or even the strongest. It belongs to the ones who build systems so relentless that quitting becomes impossible. Look around you. Most people live on random bursts of motivation. They wait for the right mood, the right time, the perfect conditions. That's why they keep starting over every Monday, every New Year, every time life gets hard. Winners don't work like that. Winners build systems that run whether they feel like it or not. Here's the formula: consistency, intensity, You don't need to destroy yourself with 10-hour workdays if you can stack small daily wins that compound over time. The gym, the business, the skill you're building, it's not about perfection. It's about making progress automatic. Think about it like this. A boulder sitting still is heavy, impossible to move. But once you push it a little every day, it starts rolling, and soon it crushes everything in its path. That's how momentum works. At first, it feels slow, boring, invisible. But then one day something clicks, and the world thinks you blew up overnight. No, you just refuse to stop pushing. Start small, but be ruthless. Build 3 non-negotiable habits. Not 10, not 20, just 3. Wake up at the same time. Move your body daily. Spend at least 1 focused hour every day building something that matters. Stack these until they're automatic, until missing them feels wrong. And here's where it gets psychological. Publicly commit to your momentum. Tell people what you're doing, not to get applause, but to trap yourself. The more people who know, the harder it becomes to quit without looking weak. Winners use pressure as fuel. But let me warn you, momentum has a price. People around you will get uncomfortable with your progress. They'll try to pull you back, not because they hate you, but because you remind them of their own laziness. You will outgrow friends, relationships, even family members who choose stagnation over growth. Don't apologize for it. The price of staying average is far higher than the price of losing people who refuse to evolve. The beautiful thing about momentum is this. Once it's strong enough, it makes success automatic. The hardest part is starting. The second hardest part is continuing when it feels like nothing is happening. But if you push long enough, your life shifts from discipline to dominance. At that point, you don't chase success, success chases you. But don't get too comfortable, because momentum alone isn't enough. The 8th rule is where the game turns lethal, learning to play life like a chessboard, predicting moves before they happen, and outthinking everyone who tries to stand in your way. You've built momentum. Good. But momentum without strategy is just speed in the wrong direction. And that's where the 8th rule comes in. Life is chess, not checkers. And if you can't think 3 moves ahead, you'll always be a pawn in someone else's game. Most people live move to move. They react to whatever's in front of them, never realizing that someone else is setting the board. Promotions, relationships, opportunities, they don't just happen. They're engineered by people who understand positioning, timing, and human psychology. And if you don't learn this, you will always be reacting to someone else's plan. Here's the truth. The smartest players never fight battles they can't win. They win before they even engage. They study people like a book. What motivates them, what scares them, what patterns they repeat without realizing. And once they know, they move pieces quietly, making others believe it was their idea all along. You need to start thinking the same way. Every interaction, every opportunity, every move you make should answer one question. How does this position me 3 steps from now? Stop making decisions for today. Start making decisions for the version of you 6 months ahead. And here's where the game gets truly advanced. You must learn to be underestimated. The loud, flashy players get targeted. The quiet ones who seem harmless, they're the ones pulling strings in the background. There's power in letting people think you're less capable than you are, because they won't see you coming until it's too late. Start practicing this. When people talk too much, listen more. When people reveal their plans, keep yours hidden. When people try to provoke you, smile and say nothing. You're not here to win arguments. You're here to win the game. And never forget this psychological law. People are predictable when their emotions are involved. Anger makes them sloppy. Ego makes them blind. Greed makes them reckless. Watch how people act under pressure, and you'll always know their next move. Here's an exercise that will change how you see the world. Spend one day watching people instead of talking. Notice how often they give away information without realizing it. The way their eyes shift when they lie. The way their tone changes when they want something. The way they repeat stories because they need validation. People tell you who they are all the time. You've just been too distracted to notice. The more you study patterns, the easier it becomes to predict outcomes. And once you can predict, you can influence. You'll stop fighting for scraps because you'll already be where the next opportunity lands before anyone else even knows it exists. But the final rule, the 9th rule, is the one that changes everything. Because winning the game isn't just about strategy, manipulation, or self-mastery. The ninth rule is about building a life so powerful, so undeniable, that no one, not fate, not luck, not even your enemies, can take it from you. Are you ready? Because once you hear it, there's no going back. This is it, the final rule, the one they never want you to learn, because once you do, you can't be controlled, you can't be broken, you can't be stopped. The ninth rule is simple but absolute. Build a life that cannot be taken from you. Think about how fragile most people are. Their happiness depends on a job that can fire them, on people who can leave them, on money they don't control, on opinions that can turn against them overnight. That's why they live in fear, because everything they value belongs to someone else. You want to win life? You have to build something so unshakable that no single person, no government, no crisis, no betrayal can destroy it. That means three things: skills, independence, and legacy. First, skills. Not titles, not degrees. Skills. Real, undeniable abilities that no one can take away. A man with skills can lose everything and rebuild it from nothing, again and again. That's why the truly powerful don't fear failure. They know how to start over because they've built themselves, not just their bank account. Second, independence. Stop being addicted to validation, to approval, to someone else's paycheck. You don't need to cut yourself off from the world, but you need to build streams of income, networks, and routines that exist outside anyone's permission. The man or woman who doesn't rely on anyone is dangerous, because you can't threaten someone who doesn't need you. Third, legacy. And this isn't about fame or followers. This is about impact. The game isn't to just make money. It's to create something that outlives you. Something that leaves people better, stronger, freer because you existed. Because here's the secret no one tells you. Immortality isn't in your name, it's in your influence. When you've built something that continues to grow long after you're gone, you've truly won life. And here's where you must make a choice. You can hear all of this, nod, feel a spark of motivation, and then go back to scrolling, complaining, living like everyone else. Or you can decide right now that this is the moment everything changes. You've been given 9 rules, but they're worthless if you don't act. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait. You need to move. Today, not tomorrow, not next week. Because every day you hesitate, someone else is building their empire while you're still dreaming about yours. If you've made it this far, you're not like everyone else. So prove it. Lock it in. Comment this twice right now. My life is mine. Say it out loud. Feel it. Because the moment you claim it, you stop being a pawn in someone else's story. You become the author of your own. And when you live by these 9 rules long enough, something incredible happens. People will whisper about you. They'll call you lucky, ruthless, even obsessed. Let them. Because the truth is, they'll never understand. That while they were waiting for permission to live, you were already out there winning life.